Hi everyone, I'm Greg with Camp Canine Jack Speech, and this is Dog Talk with Pack Leader. So I haven't been able to get a chance to do a dog talk within the last year, actually, because I was so busy. But one of the things that I think is really kind of current right now is how many dogs that are in our houses and maybe even live with other pack members in our house all of a sudden have begun fighting with each other. And I've gotten probably 7 calls in the last 10 days for just that. And that's kind of unusual with the frequency of that. And honestly, there is a reason for that, but it's probably not the reason that you think. It's not one of those things where the dogs decided to do it, they decided that they didn't like each other all of a sudden. Dogs are all about energy and body language. And you and I, as humans and pack leader aspect of what we do, we dictate a lot of what our energy is and a lot of the energy in our particular pack. So especially at this time, there's a lot of upheaval in our world, in our personal lives, in our business life, and sometimes in our personal relationships life, because we're not really used to spending that much downtime, so to speak, with each other. And because of the lack of sometimes information and that underlying tension that people have about not wanting to get sick, if they do get sick, how quick can they recover? That's a level of energy that our dogs are probably not used to on a normal, regular basis. Another thing that does happen during times like this is that we don't stay consistent with the rituals that we have, consistent with what our dogs do, what they should be doing. More time to spend with your dog, you should do just exactly that. But that doesn't mean we go out and we start continuing the worry process that you had at your house or at your business. It means that we're going to go clear our brains and we're going to enjoy being out and around and being with our pack. That's going to change your energy. And when you change your energy, you're changing a conversation that you have with our dogs, with the entire pack. And of course, the same thing goes as always. If one of our pack members is doing something they're not supposed to be doing, it's above and beyond what the rules, boundaries, and limitations are, we have to disagree, and we have to disagree in a way they understand, which means we're not going to do it with the emotion because that's not what they understand. Remember that their communication is done in an instinctual way, not emotional, spiritual, intellectual way. And oftentimes we have a tendency to do just exactly that because that's who we are. But we have to remember who we're actually conversing with and having that conversation, that relationship with. It's a different species. They operate differently. They communicate a little differently than we do. And so that's the point of how I get the message across. I have to understand the listener. And to do that, you have to understand energy and body language, yours and the dog's. So let me relate a story to you that happens out at Caesar's Ranch when we do the Fundamentals 2 class. This exercise is done with Lorenzo the llama, and it's called having a social experience with Lorenzo. And to make a long story short, what we do is we have people that have the dogs that they're working with, always shelter dogs, and we tell them, there's Lorenzo ahead of you, 10, 12 yards away. Go have a social experience with Lorenzo. Now, the key to this is everybody's vision of what a social experience is a little bit different. I think nowadays people are beginning to delve a little deeper into the definition of what social experience is. I can have a social experience with you by doing this. I don't have to be right up on top of you to do that. We don't have to be in touch distance, and I don't have to be touching you to have a social experience. And that's kind of the key to that exercise. The other key to the exercise is also to understand what my pack members that are with me as part of my team, what is their emotion? What are their energies? Because if I'm not paying attention to my pack's energy, then it doesn't matter what I want to do. The team is not going to be successful. So the short version of how we're successful is we certainly continue the ritual of what we do. Your walk is very foundational for the exercise that is from a mental and psychological perspective, not just the physical perspective. And those walks don't necessarily have to be very far. They don't have to be very long. You only have a certain period of time. What you're doing when you're together is way more important than what you actually do. So it's important to have the right attitude when we go into that and to understand that that's not only a psychological exercise in clearing our brain, but it also helps to have our dogs clear their brain in a more productive fashion because now they're mentally challenged and they're engaged with us. If there's a bright side to this whole dilemma, it's probably that number one, that we can redefine what actual social experiences are. There are a lot of different ways to methods to make that happen. And also to understand our energy. Your intention, what you intend to do, and then what your emotion is, then equal what your energy is. And your intention may stay always the same, but your emotion can change. That means that your energy can change. So, what's the message I want to send my dog? I want a calm dog when I need it. I need an excited dog when I can control the excitement. And then in the meantime, you and I get to control the love and the affection. And we get that connection, not only with another species, but that's the same connection we have with each other as humans. I'm pretty sure that some of our dogs are really, really happy that they have their humans, part of the pack that's with them now a lot more often than before. But remember that we have to actually engage with that too. Doesn't mean I have to spend all day making sure that they are staying engaged, but when we engage them in a way that they can relax when it's time to relax, then that makes it better for us, less frustrating for us. Because you're less frustrated, less stressed, it's angry, fearful, anxious. Those negative human emotions, remember, are not communication with our dog. So we get a better level of cooperation when we're clear in our message to whoever it is we're talking to, whether it's another human, whether it's another species, a dog, a cat, anything. We have to send the clearest message possible so that I get the cooperation because, of course, if the person who receives that message is not clear about what the message is, then they're not going to be clear about how to move forward. Until the next time, please go out, walk your dog, have fun. Remember, you control calm, confident part of you, and then we also get to control the love and the joy that goes along with being together, having fun, being engaged, and then, of course, being hopeful that things are not always going to be the same, whether it's our situation socially right now or whether it's our situation with our dog. You have the ability and the power to make that happen. So put yourself into it. This has been Greg with Dog Talk with Pack Leader, and get out and walk your dog.